What actions would you take if you had the ability to look beyond the physical world, to perceive the hidden truth and the enormous potential that life has to offer? Imagine for a moment that you had the ability to change your reality using an ability you already possess. This exciting promise is offered by the concept of the third eye, which manifests itself in various spiritual traditions and cultures. Intuition, spiritual vision, and inner wisdom are all related with this center of higher perception with which it is associated. The concept of the third eye is characterized in a variety of ways across different faiths. This chakra is referred to as the sixth chakra in Hinduism, and it is considered to be the location where higher consciousness and clairvoyance are located. Nirvana, which is a state of total enlightenment, is regarded to be something that can be reached through this gateway in Buddhism. The Eye of Horus, a potent emblem of protection and heightened perception, was venerated in ancient Egypt as a representation of the third eye. It is impossible to overstate the significance of the third eye in terms of spiritual vision. The ability to access higher planes of awareness, which enables a more profound comprehension of both life and the world, is regarded as the key to unlocking this door. The awakening of one's intuition and the ability to see beyond the illusions of the physical world are two of the reasons why opening one's third eye is considered to be an essential stage in the process of human development. It is possible that you will uncover dormant powers within yourself, such as clairvoyance, telepathy, and enhanced intuition when you activate the third eye. This heightened perception has the potential to alter the way in which you perceive and engage with the world, thereby delivering a more profound sense of connection and purpose. Now that we have that out of the way, let's go into the history of the third eye and see how ancient civilizations understood and respected this core of mystical consciousness. Having an understanding of its root can not only shed light on our current path, but also assist us in activating it. From the beginning of time till the present, the third eye has served as a connection between the material and spiritual realms, allowing for a vision that goes beyond what is often perceived. It is possible to awaken this center of vision and bring about a dramatic change in one's life by engaging in practices that are committed to spiritual growth and making a commitment to spiritual development. Since ancient times, the idea of a third eye has been a source of inspiration and fascination for people all around the world. Ancient societies all across the world placed a high emphasis on this center of mystical vision because they believed it contained the secret to achieving higher levels of knowledge and spiritual understanding. In order to acquire a comprehensive comprehension of the power of the third eye, it is necessary to investigate its historical origins and the practices that have developed over the course of the ages. It was believed that the Eye of Horus, sometimes referred to as Udot, was a representation of the third eye in ancient Egypt. The protection, health, and prosperity that were connected with this potent symbol were all cherished. An amulet representing the eye of the falcon deity Horus, the Eye of Horus, was worn to fend against evil and attract beneficial energies. It was also used to attract positive energies. It was believed that being in possession of the Eye of Horus would grant its bearers access to higher levels of observation and comprehension, so providing them with a vision that extended beyond the physical world. The Egyptian mystery schools were centers of esoteric learning that existed for more than 3,000 years. These schools were places where initiates were instructed in a variety of fields, including astrology, mathematics, philosophy, and spiritual practices. The cultivation of the third eye was regarded as an important instrument for attaining enlightenment and divine understanding, and these centers were well known for taking this approach, meditating, performing rituals, reciting mantras, and making use of sacred symbols were all methods that were utilized in Egypt in order to activate the third eye. These methods were utilized by the priests and initiates of the mystery schools in order to broaden their capabilities of perception and gain access to esoteric knowledge. Additionally, the utilization of psychoactive chemicals and medicinal plants was a component of certain rituals, which contributed to the facilitation of altered states of consciousness. Ajna, also known as the sixth chakra, is the name given to the third eye in Hinduism. It is situated between the eyebrows. When it comes to intuition and clairvoyance, it is believed to be the center. The purpose of activities like yoga and meditation is to stimulate the awakening of this chakra, which in turn fosters a more profound connection with the universal consciousness. In addition, there are sacred books from the Hindu religion that include references to the sixth chakra as a portal to spiritual perception and enlightenment. Within the Buddhist tradition, the third eye is frequently linked to the concept of inner vision and the capacity to perceive the genuine essence of reality. It is common practice to depict Buddha with a dot or mark on his forehead, which represents the third eye and his journey toward enlightenment. Through the practice of Buddhist meditation, particularly Vipassana and Zazen, the goal is to cultivate consciousness and perception, which in turn assists in opening the third eye and achieving a state of mental clarity and calm. The scientific community has recently started looking into the molecular and chemical underpinnings of the third eye in the modern era, due to the fact that it is capable of producing melatonin and perhaps DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a psychedelic drug that can elicit visionary experiences. The pineal gland, which is situated in the middle of the brain, is sometimes connected with the third eye. Meditation, visualization, the usage of crystals, chanting mantras, and conscious breathing techniques are some of the practices that are increasingly being discussed as potential methods for activating the third eye in today's world. The cultivation of awareness and the activation of the third eye are two additional benefits that are commonly associated with the practice of mindfulness. It is essential to delve into the scientific principles that underlie this mysterious area of vision in order to have a comprehensive understanding of the third eye notion and the consequences it carries. When it comes to this understanding, the pineal gland, which is a little organ situated in the middle of the brain, is the key. This gland has been a subject of intrigue in both the scientific community and the spiritual community. The pineal gland is a tiny endocrine gland that is shaped like a pine cone and is positioned deep within the brain between the two hemispheres, close to the geometric center of the skull. It is commonly referred to as the biological third eye. The melatonin gland is the gland that is responsible for the synthesis of melatonin, which is a hormone that regulates the circadian rhythms of the body, which are the cycles of sleep and wakefulness. The pineal gland is one of a kind for a number of reasons. The blood-brain barrier does not prevent it from being connected to the bloodstream, in contrast to other areas of the brain as well. This indicates that it is capable of interacting directly with the bloodstream, which makes it easier for hormones and other compounds to be released. In terms of its structure, the pineal gland contains cells known as pinealocytes. These cells are structurally similar to the photoreceptors that are located in the retina of the eye, which suggests that there may be an intriguing evolutionary connection between the pineal gland and physical eyesight. Calcite particles, which are formed of calcium phosphate crystals and possess piezoelectric capabilities, are also found in the pineal gland. As a result of the fact that these particles are capable of producing minute electrical currents in response to mechanical pressure, a number of researchers have speculated about the pineal gland's capacity to both receive and send electromagnetic signals. There is a possibility that this ability represents the biological basis for the inner vision that is connected with the third eye. In relation to the pineal gland, the discovery of the presence of dimethyltryptamine DMT, which is a naturally occurring hallucinogenic substance, is among the most exciting findings at this time. The human brain, as with the brains of a variety of other species, contains trace amounts of DMT, which is an endogenous tryptamine. This substance is well known for the powerful hallucinogenic effects that it possesses, which are frequently linked to altered states of consciousness and visionary experiences. The molecular structure of DMT is comparable to that of serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter that plays an important role in the regulation of both perception and mood. This lends credence to the idea that DMT may interact with serotonin receptors in the brain, so contributing to a direct influence on perception and conscious experience. Both the creation of DMT by the pineal gland and its subsequent release have been the topic of dispute and discussion in the scientific community. The pineal gland is thought to be responsible for the production of DMT in considerable quantities during remarkable occurrences such as birth, death, and near-death experiences, according to the hypothesis of some researchers. All of these extreme circumstances have the potential to cause the release of DMT, which can then facilitate powerful visions and profound spiritual revelations. Visions of beings from other dimensions, interactions with divine entities, and a sense of unity with the cosmos are some of the experiences that are frequently described as being transcendent when they are used in conjunction with DMT. These stories contain descriptions of states of consciousness that can be attained via the practice of profound meditation and the activation of the third eye. This suggests that there may be a connection between the biology of the pineal gland and spiritual experiences. Our ability to reach heightened realms of consciousness and spiritual perception is made possible through the process of activating the third eye, which is a journey that blends traditional and modern healing techniques. Meditation, visualization, and techniques for mindful breathing are examples of ancient practices that have been handed down from one generation to the next. For example, meditation is a practice that is practiced all over the world and helps to relax the mind and focus attention on the internal world. On the context of activating the third eye, the purpose of meditation is to calm the unending stream of ideas and to concentrate mental energy on the region between the eyebrows, which is the location of the third eye. The third eye can be stimulated by the practice of visualization, which involves consciously envisioning particular images and symbols. When it comes to activating this region of the forehead, several traditions recommend imagining an eye or a bright light on the forehead. When it comes to yoga, the practice of pranayama, also known as conscious breathing, is a technique that includes controlling and deepening the breath. The pineal gland can be stimulated and the body's energy can be brought back into balance through the use of breathing techniques such as alternating nostril breathing. Moreover, the recitation of mantras, which include the sound of the Om, is a popular activity in a variety of spiritual activities. This particular sound is connected to the vibration of the third eye. An activation of the third eye can be facilitated through the usage of this sound during meditation. A key step on your spiritual path is gaining an understanding of and practicing ways for activating your third eye. However, the true transformation happens when you begin to feel the benefits of having your third eye open. These advantages extend far beyond mystical experiences, having a significant impact on your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, as well as your day-to-day existence. The activation of the third eye causes you to become more sensitive to the world around you, as well as the world beyond you. There is a strengthening of your intuition, which enables you to recognize realities that were previously concealed. The manifestation of this expanded perception can take the form of an enhanced ability to perceive subtle energies an understanding of spiritual symbols and signs, and a stronger connection with both your own soul and the cosmos. When the third eye is opened, not only does it bring about spiritual advantages, but it also brings about major changes to mental and emotional health. When your third eye is open and functioning properly, your mind will become more clear and focused. There is an improvement in one's capacity to concentrate on significant tasks and to make decisions that are well informed. In addition, this mental clarity helps prevent confusion and mental dispersion, which in turn enables you to deal with the obstacles that life presents in a more efficient manner. Emotionally, having a third eye that is open helps to foster a sense of equilibrium and steadiness. You get a greater awareness of your feelings and the ways in which they influence your overall health. By cultivating this emotional awareness, you will be able to more easily process and let go of negative feelings, which will ultimately result in increased emotional resilience. As I indicated earlier, one of the most important advantages of activating the third eye is that it can improve one's intuition. The capacity to comprehend something spontaneously and without the need for conscious reasoning is what we mean when we talk about intuition. It is possible for this to appear as a feeling of knowing what has to be done in a specific circumstance, or the ability to anticipate what will happen in the future. Your ability to make judgments that are more in line with your purpose and the truth that is inside you can be strengthened via the use of intuition, which can lead to more satisfying outcomes in both your personal and professional life. As an illustration, you might discover that it is simpler for you to make decisions that were previously difficult or ambiguous, such as selecting a new line of work, relocating to a new community, or beginning new romantic relationships. Your emotional patterns and the ways in which they influence your behavior and decisions become increasingly apparent to you as you grow in awareness. It is possible to turn negative emotions such as fear, rage, and despair into positive feelings such as love, compassion, and joy for those who have this understanding. The emotionally transformative process ultimately results in a life that is more balanced and harmonious. The ability to see past outward appearances and see the genuine nature of the circumstances and individuals in your immediate environment is another factor that contributes to the development of a stronger sense of empathy and understanding. When you have a vision that is both clearer and more intuitive, you start to perceive possibilities and difficulties in a different way. Now that we have gained clarity and perspective, we are able to see situations that were before difficult to understand or difficult to resolve. Enhanced perception also assists in recognizing and avoiding potentially harmful situations, which safeguards both your physical health and your spiritual development. It is important not to undervalue the physical advantages that come with activating the third sight. As I mentioned earlier, the pineal gland is responsible for regulating the generation of melatonin, which is the hormone that controls the cycles of sleep and wakefulness. The activation of the third eye has been reported by many people to improve the quality of their sleep as well as their day energy and vitality. By engaging in activation techniques on a consistent basis, one can achieve a state of profound relaxation, so alleviating stress and anxiety and enhancing the general health of the body. The capacity of third eye activation to bring about transformation is demonstrated by these benefits, which are both spiritual and practical in nature. Nevertheless, it is essential to keep in mind that the effects of these benefits may vary from person to person, depending on the individual's level of spiritual growth, the daily practices they engage in, and their level of openness to these experiences. The path to activation is not devoid of difficulties and uncertainties, despite the fact that opening the third eye brings forth a multitude of advantages. It is essential to address these challenges with in-depth comprehension and solutions that may be put into practice in order to triumph over them. Taking this into consideration, let's investigate some of the typical obstacles that people who are trying to open their third eye encounter, as well as the most efficient ways to overcome these obstacles. Irritability is one of the most common difficulties that people face. When individuals begin practicing techniques for activating the third eye, many people anticipate seeing benefits almost immediately. However, much like any other spiritual ability, opening the third eye demands time, devotion, and regular practice like any other spiritual skill. It is possible for impatience to result in feelings of frustration and despair, which can then impede forward movement. In order to triumph over this obstacle, it is of the utmost importance to establish a consistent routine of practices and to approach them with an attitude of patience and acceptance. Always keep in mind that each and every step you take on your spiritual path is important and helps to your own personal development. Doubt is yet another common obstacle to overcome. It is only normal to wonder if the actions you are taking are actually producing the desired results, or if you are heading in the right direction. The existence of doubt can manifest itself in a variety of ways, including skepticism regarding the methods, concern regarding your capabilities, or dread of the unknown. The origin of doubts can be traced back to restrictive ideas or a lack of sufficient knowledge on the procedure. By educating yourself and seeking knowledge, you may effectively deal with these resistances that you are encountering. The act of reading books, attending lectures, and taking part in spiritual gatherings are all activities that can assist in removing uncertainties and laying a strong basis for comprehension. One more key difficulty is that there is a lack of consistency. It might be challenging to sustain a consistent spiritual practice in today's world because of the many distractions and duties that are present in modern life. To be successful in activating the third eye, however, constancy is essential. You can overcome this obstacle by making an effort to construct a schedule that includes time that is specifically designated for your spiritual activities and by remaining committed to that schedule. It may be beneficial to establish daily reminders or to link your practices with tasks that are performed on a regular basis, such as meditating before going to bed or before getting up. The presence of fear can also be a barrier. It is possible for the opening of the third eye to bring about strong experiences and visions which may be unsettling for some people. The fear of the unknown might contribute to the development of internal resistances that impede forward movement. When confronted with these situations, it is essential to address them with an open mind and a fearless heart. It is important to keep in mind that the sights and sensations you are experiencing are not a threat. Rather, they are a part of the process of opening up your consciousness. When you are going through these experiences, it might be helpful to practice techniques such as meditation and breathing exercises in order to keep yourself calm and concentrated. The third eye can be difficult to open for a number of reasons, including the internal problems that are mentioned above, as well as a number of external influences. An adverse atmosphere for spiritual development can be created when there is a lack of support from friends and family, when there is skepticism from society, and when there are frequent diversions from day-to-day living. Consequently, it is of the utmost importance to establish a sacred space in your life where you may focus on perfecting your techniques without being disturbed. Being surrounded by individuals who are encouraging and supportive can help provide the drive and encouragement that is necessary to get through this. However, the most essential thing to keep in mind is that the spiritual journey is different for each and every person as they travel it. What is successful for one individual could not be successful for another, and this is a totally natural occurrence. Therefore, pay attention to your own physiology and intuition, and make adjustments to your routines as required in order to discover what works best for you. Keeping a mindset that is both flexible and adaptive is absolutely necessary in order to successfully navigate the challenges that come up along the way. Additionally, it is of the utmost importance to build self-compassion during this path. The act of opening one's third eye is a powerful and transforming activity that has the potential to activate a wide range of feelings and difficulties. So be kind and compassionate to yourself, and keep in mind that every step you take, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is a step in the right direction toward achieving your objective. The path of spiritual development includes both the celebration of minor accomplishments and the learning that comes from experiencing failures. I am grateful that you have chosen to begin this adventure with me. In the event that this video struck a chord with you, I would like to extend an invitation to you to like and subscribe to our channel, to share this video with others so that they can benefit from this message, and to not forget to leave a comment below expressing your views, insights, and experiences. Once again, I appreciate you watching and coming to be with me. Be careful, and I'll see you soon.